Hello and welcome back to my FPL channel. I am FPL DN and today you're here for top transfer tips. But before we get into the top transfer tips, especially for the assistant manager chip, let's hear it for all the people that picked Arnie Slot as manager. Congratulations. You got it wrong. You got it horribly wrong. This chip was designed to chase table bonus and I've been preaching that since the moment it got revealed. And that was always my plan. The fact that it had double-double and a chance to have table bonus on both of those games. The only disappointing thing is that Emery didn't beat Ipswich, but he still beat Slot this week. Unbelievably good. So anyone that went the Slot and Moyes partnership, you are sitting on 36 points compared to the Slot owners, believe it or not. They only got 15 the first week and they got 13 the second for 28 points. So we're beating them by 8 points, which is pretty much the definition of a win. Just a standard 2-1 win. Like, that's how good it's been. So I just love it. I just love it. So if you're a Slot owner, let us know in the comments. Tell me you got it wrong. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So before we get any further, if you haven't already, please like the video and please think about subscribing to the channel. Now, we are going to start on Game Week 26, the FDR, because this is important, particularly when we look at assistant manager. So I just want you to look at this week. So West Ham obviously have Arsenal. As you can see there, for Arsenal, it's a really green fixture. For West Ham, it's showing up as 4 on the FDR rating. The only team that has table bonus this week with a green fixture is Leicester. Leicester at home against Brentford is showing up as a nice fixture for both teams. Ironically, it's a good fixture for Brentford and it's a good fixture for Leicester. Other than that, the Crystal Palace versus Fulham game, that's grey for both teams. In terms of the Tottenham and Ipswich game, Tottenham, it's green fixture for them, but for Ipswich, it's actually only a grey. So like potentially there's a chance there. If we go down to Wolves, that's also a grey against Bournemouth, but for Bournemouth, it's a green. And then the Southampton one, well, Southampton, Brighton are actually showing up as a grey, but for Brighton versus Southampton, it's showing up as a green. I just wanted to point that out because it's really interesting to note, and it's really handy when you try and assess the different capabilities of the different managers that are going to be on offer this week. So, how I've got them rated at the moment, and I have Unai Emery in my own team, and at the moment, I'm about 95% certain I'm going to be changing to who is number one in this ranking. Now, that pains me. I was really hoping for an Aston Villa win because I really wanted to go in on myself. Like Ruud van Nistelrooy, look at him. If you can't see the resemblance, you probably need to get some glasses. I'm in fine form today, as you can tell. That assistant manager chip has really got me up and bouncing and it prevented my rank from dropping very far this week, taking that -4 as well. So it's worked out quite well. Glasner against Fulham, I just like it. Crystal Palace haven't lost in I think 8 away games. Yes, they haven't played the best opposition, but I wouldn't say Fulham's an amazing team. A couple of weeks ago, Fulham was 10th. Now they're up to whatever it is in the table, and now Crystal Palace can beat them, hopefully. I just really like it. It just screams, I don't have any Palace assets either, so this is another way of just covering the Mateta goals, etc., just playing Glasner on them and hoping for the best. All these ones are a punt this week as well. Like Ruud van Nistelrooy, Friday Night Football, it could either go horribly wrong for your start of your game week or horribly right. And the problem with my team is I've got Wissa and Mbeumo, who I'll be playing against Leicester, backing in Ruud van Nistelrooy against those two assets doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. Whereas I've only got Robinson from Fulham, and I still think that potentially he could get some attacking return, and I do expect Crystal Palace to score against Fulham. So that's also part of the consideration. Kieran McKenna, obviously against Tottenham. He's already beaten Tottenham once this season. There's a chance there that I can do it at home. Ipswich's form at home, though, hasn't overly been fabulous. But I could definitely see a Spurs being a flaky Spurs and just letting Ipswich win. Like Liam Delap could easily score the goals required to win there. Pereira against Bournemouth. This is one I don't really like, but in comparison to the next two, it doesn't sound too bad. Graham Potter, I can't see them beating that Arsenal defence down. And I don't think Bowen's fit enough yet to really carry that team. But I feel like it's a London derby. You never know what could happen. The Bournemouth game at Wolves, maybe that one should actually be rated 6 because you just can't see Wolves going to Bournemouth and getting any kind of result there. And Djuric against Brighton. Like, Brighton have a merit in them. I've been saying this all week. Potentially, they drew 1-1 at Brighton, right, earlier in the season. So the history is there. Potentially Southampton do better at home. They have looked fairly decent and have scored some goals over the last few weeks. So, I don't know. I don't think Djuric is as bad as everyone is making out to be, but it's not somewhere I would go. And I'd probably have him in that ranking. And at the moment, as I said, I'm 95% certain I'm going to be going Glasner instead of Rude, 5% Rude, and then it's nothing on the rest. But I can't bring myself to go against my own players in my team. It just doesn't make much sense unless I'm hoping for like a 3-3 draw or a 4-3 win or something like that. I don't see Leicester scoring 4 goals. So the odds of that would be very remote, I would suggest. So, on to the top transferred players this week. So, on the left-hand side, we have the in players, and on the right-hand side, we have the out players. This week, we're going to start on the in players. Marmouche, I do not know why people are buying a Man City player with their run of fixtures coming up. We'll have a look. He does feature later on in the video. I just don't understand that particular transfer. Clive and Matoma, they're great transfers. Good for this week. Good for the following weeks. Good for game week 29. I mean, Matoma's playing Man City, but Man City can't defend, so that probably doesn't make much difference. 1 year, he doesn't make any sense to me. They've got West Ham at home this weekend. Then by the time the Saka and Martinelli come back, the run of fixtures up from after this week isn't actually that good for Arsenal, and I don't think a 18-year-old is going to be doing that much work in your team. Unless you're going to be benching him every single week. I just don't understand the transfer. There's so many better options. Like Dango, who's 2 places down, 5.1. I think he's definitely worth the 0.6 more. I don't understand why people are jumping on the Nwaneri bandwagon. For me, I haven't even considered it. Cunha, a great move. I'm not sure about this week, but he has been in great form the last 2 weeks, obviously. And when he does get a return, he gets bonus points as well. So I really like that as an option. Dango's brilliant. I'm actively considering whether I get a second Bournemouth player into my team. Wood, I'm not sure this is the moment to be buying Wood. Like, Wood, as you can see, is on the other side as well. 41,000 transfers out, 107,000 in. Yes, he just continues to score and get points. I just think that, if anything, he's actually more of a sell than a buy at the moment. That's just my personal opinion. And Mbeumo and Wissa, Beto, Mateta, they've all got great fixtures. Mateta I'd be concerned about because he is going to have that blank very soon. I just can't recommend buying anyone that's about to blank. It makes no sense to me. It just means you're going to have to transfer him out or free hit, and I don't think free hitting in 29 is the answer for me. Semenyo, Kirkes, great options there. Gabriel, I don't really recommend any defender over 6 mil, so for me, Gabriel is also not a buy. Yes, they have an amazing fixture this week, but after this week, as I said, it becomes a lot tougher the next 3 or 4 weeks for Arsenal's defence. I don't think they're going to be keeping many clean sheets, and Gabriel's not going to keep scoring goals, so you just got to get that out of your head. Welbeck, great pick this week. Mente is definitely a case of points chasing. Isaac, I don't know why you're buying him unless you went to the Watkins play for 1 week and gone back to Isaac this week. If so, well done. You got 15 points from Watkins and you dodged a 2 from Isaac, and potentially it pays off this week. Raya, I can understand lots of people have Alisson Becker probably going back to Raya. That makes a lot of sense. Even in my team, I've actively thought about that move. Watkins, this is not the week to buy him. Those 15 points are done and gone. He's about to blank. You don't buy. And Guardiol, he's all right. But again, City's run of fixtures are horrible. He's not keeping any clean sheets the next 3 or 4 weeks. In terms of the outside, the outer players, the people that are gone, the top 20 here. Ahmad, 100%, gone for the season. See you later. Gakpo, hello. I didn't buy Gakpo, and I'm pretty damn happy I didn't after the double game week he just put together. It's safe to say that buying Trent over Gakpo for those 3 game weeks has definitely paid off for my team in particular. Cole Palmer, why are you selling him? It's Southampton and Leicester the next 2 game weeks after Aston Villa. 0 cents to people that are selling him. That's all I'll say. Nicholas Jackson and Dye, they're injured. Don't know how long for, but they're going to be out for a while. Definite sells. Rogers, Gordon, Isaac, Hall, Luis Diaz, those 5 players, understand. If you're moving players out in preparation for a blank game week 29, you're doing it now based on the fixtures. And for definitely for all of them, I'd say good sells, except Isaac if you've got lots of money tied up. And in my case, I've got lots of money tied up in Hull. So for me, they're not sells in my team, but they might be for you if you don't have the same value invested. Wissa, don't understand why you sell him with Leicester away. If he doesn't do anything against Leicester, 100% get rid. I understand he's only got 2 goals in about 10 games, but I just think that this is the week. The Brentford boys are due a big week, right? And that's why I've been put off going for Ruud van Nistelrooy. Havertz, he's going to be out he's out for the season, so you definitely need to get rid of him. Sanchez lost his spot in goal, get rid. João Pedro's on the bench. Welbeck's been playing, get rid. Aina, Nottingham Forest, they have a rough run of fixtures, and I can understand why Aina and Wood in both of these cases are on the selling pile. Madueke, ditto, injured, see you later. Foden, yes, he's been disappointing since Marmoush was signed. And since he stopped, his actual expected goal involvement has actually dipped quite significantly as well. So I'm glad I actually sold him when I did. Unfortunately, Mbeumo's done nothing in his place. Virgil van Dijk, ditto, getting ready for blank game week 29. I love it. And Arnie Slot, all these people have woken up 2 weeks late. 43,000 managers have transferred him out. Honestly, I don't know why anyone started with him in the first place, but that's the top 20 in and out covered. Hopefully that provides a little bit of insight about whether you should be buying some of these players or not. Now, on to my best defender buys and sells for the week. So we're going to start with the buys. Hodgson actually overtakes Kirkes this week. I think that he is a better option at 0.5 million less. I have Kirkes in my team, but I've had him for so long, he's not going to be leaving. But if I was buying brand new, I'd 100% be buying Hodgson. He's got better expected goal involvement. He's got less expected goals conceded, actually more goals conceded than Kirkes, but I think that's, I don't know, I'm not sure why that is. Maybe Kirk has been subbed. I'm not 100% sure. I was trying to look into it. I think maybe Hodgson's played less games, and the games he's played in has just had worse data. Tarkowski and Mikalenko are in there at 3 and number 6 on this list. Everton's run of fixtures coming up is brilliant. They've got Manchester United. That should be a green fixture. Man United do not score goals. They don't score goals, which is why I'm actually benching Bruno in my own team again this week. I think they'll easily keep a shutout. It'll be 1 or 2-0, something like that. Easy days for Everton players. And then you've got Brentford away, difficult fixture, and then Wolves away. That looks, the way Everton's defence has been going, they've kept so many clean sheets this season. You're not backing against these players, and for the price they are, I just love them in your team, especially up to when you're wildcarding potentially in 30-31. Timber is definitely the best option in the Arsenal defence. He is the cheapest, 5.6. He doesn't cost very much. I just love it. I can't justify paying up an extra 0.7 more for Gabriel over Timber. It makes no sense to me in my mind. Veltman is also a really good option for Brighton this week. They are expected to keep a clean sheet, but we know what happened last time they played Southampton. But I'm expecting them to probably keep a clean sheet here, and he comes in at number 5. Defender sells 100%. Number 1, it is Trent Alexander-Arnold. If I had 2 free transfers this week, I could tell you straight off the bat, Trent would be out of my team. He is not worth 7.4 million. Yes, he has the best expected goal involvement of any defender in the game, but that does not justify 7.4 million. Consider if he was justifying that price tag, he'd be comfortably clear at the top of the standings, but he's not. That's all you need to know about that. He's not worth the pound for pound value over the other options that are above him in this graphic. Virgil van Dijk, again, these two, because they've got a blank in game week 29, they've got Man City away, followed by Newcastle at home. I don't expect them to be keeping clean sheets the next 2 games. And then it's the Southampton game, and potentially they might be resting players for that game, which is why I just think that they're sells, like 100% sells. They're going to be the top sells this week, they're going to be top sells next week, and they'll be top sells the week after. Luca Dean, Konza, ditto. Konza's injured, so that makes that pretty easy. Luca Dean, obviously, they've got the blank coming up. So again, a whole ditto. These are why these guys are my top players to sell. Yes, Hull's going to be staying in my team, but that's only because I've got such value tied up in him. If I had no value, I would 100% have moved Hull on. But because I do, it's going to be Trent that leaves my team. I've only got 0.1 million tied up in him. So for me, it makes sense to get rid of him. And Aina, Nottingham Forest run. That's all you need to know. Newcastle away, Arsenal at home, Man City at home. There ain't any clean sheets in that. And Milinkovic in my team is going to be benched until game week 29. That's something you probably need to start factoring into your team selections. On to the best midfielder buys and sells. Now, this one is a little interesting. All the Bournemouth boys are there. But Matoma comes in front of him. I don't know why. This man has scored 35 points in 5 weeks. Like, he is in hot form. And his first touch for that goal against Chelsea last week, my God, that was something special to behold. I just really love him. I think he'll be brilliant. Semenyo, he still comes in, I think, ahead of the other two because of the minutes. Like, if he was playing less minutes, I would put him further down, and I'd probably swap him with Dango, because then I think that Dango will be playing more minutes than Semenyo. But I just think realistically, moving forward, when the players do start coming back, I don't think Semenyo's minutes are going to be affected, which is why he comes in at number 2. Kluivert comes in at number 3 because he's on penalties. And Wolves, as we saw on the weekend, almost gave away 2 penalties. There's every chance they give away a penalty against Bournemouth. Bournemouth have a lot of tricky players. I wouldn't be surprised if Bournemouth won a couple of pens against that Wolves defence. And for me, that makes Kluivert a really hot option this week, and I'm very glad to have him in my team. Dango, if you want to save some money, this man is a beast. He is racking up huge expected goal involvement at the moment. Racked up much bigger numbers than Semenyo and Kluivert on the weekend. He's a great option, a great enabler. You could double up. If I was doubling up, I wouldn't go Semenyo and Kluivert. I'd either go Kluivert and Dango or Semenyo and Dango. That's how I would do it. Coming in at number 5 is Brian Mbeumo. He is a good captaincy shout this week as well. And the Leicester away, Everton at home fixtures in theory and Aston Villa at home prior to game week 29 look like amazing fixtures on paper. He needs to start delivering though. All the Brentford boys need to start delivering because they've been pretty bang average the last couple of weeks. But I just feel like there's a massive haul coming. And Mbeumo's a flat track bully as well. So I'm hoping he combines with Wissa and hopefully they both get monster hauls this particular week. Nkunku comes in at number 6. Now, all you have to look at that, he's going to be playing. His expected goal involvement on his lack of minutes this year is huge. It's better than, I think, any midfielder outside of Salah in the game. Like, it's insane. I'm pretty sure. I think Palmer might be close, but Nkunku is definitely pretty damn high up there. 0.71 expected goals per 90. That's insane. Aston Villa away, Southampton at home, Leicester at home. There's goals there. If he's starting, and I believe he will be because Jackson's out, I expect Nkunku to deliver a few goals and quite a few hauls over the coming weeks. 5.7 million is dirt cheap as well. Like, that is just bargain basement. It's hard to not to recommend there. Trossard's unlucky not to make it in here. He would have been number 7, but unfortunately, you got to be in the top 6 to make this graphic, and he doesn't quite beat out Nkunku in my estimation. Midfielder sells. Ahmad, unfortunately, he's done for the season. Unlucky for Man United, that means that their chances of scoring goals is drastically reduced, which probably makes Bruno close to a sell after the next 3 weeks. But for now, it's just Ahmad. He comes in at number 1 sell. Rodgers is definitely number 2. He disappointed again. He just can't get it done in the Premier League the last 3 or 4 match weeks. And that's disappointing for owners. Like, he was one of the biggest underperformers this game week. That's not what you want in your team. See you later. He's got the blank in game week 29. Gordon also has the blank in game week 29. 2 difficult fixtures before that West Ham away fixture. I just think that their mind's going to drift towards that final. So for me, I would just get rid of Gordon. I think that's a pretty easy sell. Luis Diaz, ditto. Yes, I mean, Gapco missed the games and he obviously finally returned in the first one, but he did his usual thing in the second, went missing. And I think if I was worried about his minutes moving forward, and thankfully I'm not because I don't have him, I think for me it's an easy sell. I wouldn't lose too much sleep over that one. Eze, unfortunately, this dude just doesn't seem to be able to stay fit, so that's why he makes it in at number 5 as the 5th best to sell. And Iwobi, he's also there. I think he outperformed his XG for so long this season, and now it's just starting to even itself out. And unfortunately, yes, the fixtures don't look too bad, but Iwobi is just not cutting the mustard at the moment. I think he also needs to be one that needs to be moved on. All right, in terms of the forwards, now this is a little controversial. All right, there's some players in here that you're like, are you for real? Like, how have you got these orders correct? Now, Wissa's got the most amazing next 2 or 3 weeks, really. It's better than Cunha, which is why he beats Cunha in this chart. His numbers, expected goal numbers are almost double. In fact, they are double what Cunha's are. I just think that Wissa is due. He's due. Like, when you just get a feeling that someone's about to pop, I feel like this is the week that Wissa pops. I've been waiting 3 weeks. If he can't get it done in 4, it's see you later, Wissa, hello, Cunha. So he can tell you that will be my transfer next week if he doesn't go this week. But if he does, he gets a stay of execution for another week. But he's definitely the top forward to buy this week. That fixture, Leicester away, just screams goals with the way that Brentford play. And Leicester just can't defend very well. Cunha definitely comes at number 2. Bournemouth away is a very difficult fixture. I'm not expecting much from Cunha this particular week. But then Fulham at home and then the dream run commences after that. I just think they're such a good asset. I think he's going to be in most people's teams. It's just a matter of whether you jump early or you don't jump early. Beto is a great shout. The next 4 or 5 weeks, great shout up to like game week 30. The fixtures for Everton are amazing. Manchester United at home screams goals. And Beto is in the form of his life. He's been racking them up the last 3 game weeks. I just like him. Ever since Dominic Calvert-Lewin went down, Everton have learnt how to score goals. And Beto is the man. So for me, 4.9 million, dirt cheap. If you want to get rid of like your João Pedros or your other misfiring forwards, you can't go too far wrong with going to Beto as far as I'm concerned. Raul Jimenez beats out Welbeck here. I just really like the fixtures over the next 3 weeks. I think just edge out for Raul over Welbeck. But Welbeck does make Brighton such a much better team. So you can mix and match him however you want. Marmoush makes the cut because I'm impressed by his numbers and his movement. I definitely caught my eye last week when I was watching that Newcastle game. But those fixtures are not good. Like, you're not investing in Man City during this run of fixtures. If you are, you're a brave person. Congratulations if it pays off. But I'm not expecting it to pay off. Yes, they'll score the odd goal or 2. I'm not expecting massive hauls for any of their players. In terms of the sells, Gakpo, see you later. He's gone. He's got to be gone. Anyone that followed that ploy after the Ipswich game, if you didn't make the play prior to the Ipswich game, you've got absolutely done. Because the correct play was actually to go double Liverpool defence and then Mo Salah. Not even Arnie Slot. That was a dumb play as well. So I actually bought in Trent as my third option because I already owned Alisson Becker. And over the 2 weeks, 2 double game weeks, pretty damn happy with the way that worked out in general. So, yeah, I feel like it paid off. So I'm pretty happy. Jackson, he has to be a sell. He's injured, no good. Ndiaye, exactly the same. Havertz, the same. If you're one of those people that still has any of them, you need to sell them out of your teams. They're not coming back probably this season for Havertz, definitely. Ndiaye, Jackson might be towards the end, but I wouldn't think they'd come back in any great way, shape or form. João Pedro, he's been benched the last couple of weeks. Yes, the Southampton fixture is there, but you just don't play him. I don't think he's going to be starting this game. There's no reason to be rotating players if you're a Brighton manager, and they played so well the last couple of weeks. I think I'd just be sticking with what's working, and João Pedro hasn't been working, so I think he's going to stay on the bench, and he'll probably come you on and get you 1 point. So for me, I think he's 100% sell. There's so many better options above at his price point or below. Mate, it's a no-brainer. And then Wood. As I said, though, that run of fixtures is no good for Chris Wood. And I think potentially that is something you need to factor into your decision-making. He probably does need to actually be moved on over the next 3 weeks. If you've got free transfers, I'd 100% be moving Wood on. If it wasn't for Bruno, I think I'd probably bench Chris Wood this week. But I just can't see Man United scoring against Everton, which is why the Crystal Woody Woodpecker will potentially be starting for me in my team selection tomorrow. All right, so on to my manager transfer plans for Game Week 26. I've only got the 1 free transfer. And realistically, I actually thought about leaving it on Emery because I feel like the Emery Chelsea game is actually not too bad. And I feel like that'd be a pretty easy 8 to 10 points in that game. I just can't see Chelsea winning. I can't even see them getting a draw with the way that they've been playing of late. They really do need the easy teams to roll up to Stamford Bridge from next week onwards. But I'm too tempted by the table bonus. I don't even care if I get 0 points at this point. I just feel like that's what the chip was designed for, right? That was my whole strategy. I'm going to chase table bonus every single week. And I looked up on the weekend when those results came in and Aston Villa didn't beat Ipswich. I was like, look, Oliver Glasner's actually a real good shout. And last year, Oliver Glasner, these are the kind of games that he just dominated the back end of the season. I just think that the way Crystal Palace have been playing away from home, the odds suggest that this is definitely the right move. And at the moment, it's 100% what I'll be looking to move into. So there we have it. That's my top transfer tips for Game Week 26. Lots of things to think about. This is the time of the season where people are either going to be jumping on the wrong assets, bringing in or jumping on or jumping off too early or too late. And for me, it's like the Whistle one is like, this is it. If it doesn't pop this week, he's gone. Like, you have to be ruthless at this time of the year because or else you'll get left behind and you'll see your rank drop. So look, this is a manager chip as well. All I'm going to do, I'm going to preach what I've been preaching the entire time this chip was revealed at. Chase the table bonus. You will not be disappointed. It's so much fun watching an underdog team get something against the team higher. I don't think I've ever celebrated as much as Moyes getting a draw against Liverpool and then Unai Emery getting a draw against Liverpool. These managers have served the team well. Unfortunately, this week, the fixtures aren't as good. Last week, I actually said that Brighton would probably beat Chelsea, and they did. In fact, sadly, there's no real fixture screams that it's going to happen. But I think Oliver Glasner's definitely your best shout. If you don't own the Brentford boys, I'd be going with Ruud van Nistelrooy, though. You heard it here first. That's been the D in it with his top transfer tips for Game Week 26.